Wickerbill really is an easy process, just simple tools. Um, this is a rib nut tool. You're gonna get that rib nut tool in the parts bag. So when you receive your Wickerbill, you will get this bag with all of these parts in it, including this rib nut tool here. This tool is one that we designed on our own. The best way to use it is to clamp it into some vice grips right on that coupler nut. Once we get into the job, I will give you a little bit better idea how this works. We're gonna need a couple of pencils. We're gonna use those pencils on each side of the Wickerbill. We're gonna use that to space the Wickerbill up off of the deck lid so it's not interfering and rubbing on any of the painted surface. I like to use a ratcheting wrench. This will go on the end of the rib nut tool, or you could use a socket. 3/16 Allen wrench, that will go for screwing in the Allen head cap screws. This right here is this is another rib nut tool setter. You can choose to use that if you want to go buy one. They are $50 to upwards of $150 sometimes. I have over $100 in this one, and honestly, I use this one on just about every install that I do. That's how easy and effective this tool is. Tape measure, you're just gonna, line things up. Need some good painter's tape, some good masking tape. This will, be used where we're gonna mask off the painted area of the car so we're not marring or scratching anything up. The other use for the tape is we're going to tape the Wickerbill in place so we can hold it in place while we're drilling. We're gonna use a 1/8 inch drill bit. This will be our pilot hole. This will be the hole we will drill first. This will be the one that we will line everything up with. And then we're gonna come back with a 25/64 drill bit. It has to be a 25/64 because the outside diameter of these rib nuts is 25/64. So those have to fit into that hole that we're gonna drill. They have to be really snug and tight so they don't loosen up and fall out later. Last thing, grab yourself something to drink, whatever your choice is. Today mine's Mountain Dew, so I'm sure you all have your preference. So let's get into it. We're gonna install this thing. All right, so as you can see, I have went ahead and put the painter's tape on the painted area of the trunk lid and the fenders where the Wickerbill will overlap on each side. I went ahead and did that. I guarantee you do not want to watch the backside of me while I'm taping this thing up. So the first thing you'll do is tape that up to protect it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the Wickerbill and we're going to center the Wickerbill left and right, and then we're also going to put the spacers in on the left and the right side, and then we're going to tape it in place where we want it to be. Then after that we will drill. Okay, I have the painter's tape on the trunk lid. So now what I have done is I have taped the Wickerbill to the back of the car. Notice I have put that pencil in right here at this little drop down right here on the right side, and I also put that pencil in over here. What that does, that's going to keep the Wickerbill from touching any of the painted surface. So we have that clearance all the way across now. So the Wickerbill's taped in place. You got to come up top. You're gonna have to put some tape here and there. I did this one by myself. Took a couple extra minutes, but if you have a buddy that can help hold this stuff in place for you, make sure on the back of this you have your backup camera for the charger. Challengers, other cars have backup cameras also. Just, you can center off of the camera as well. So go ahead and do that. Once this is all taped in place, what you want to do is you want to make sure that where you're going to be drilling, that you're going to have, you can see that this hole right here is centered with the spoiler, so centered up and down. So you want to be able to make sure wherever you're drilling your hole, you're going to be coming into the spoiler into a really into the center of the spoiler vertically. So I'm gonna set up and then we will start doing some drilling. All right, now that we have the Wickerbill in place, we have it centered left and right, we have it centered vertically up and down. We're going to use our 1/8 inch drill bit. Here, we're gonna drill all of the holes all the way down with the 1/8 inch drill bit first. After we get that drilled, then we will come back with the 25/64. So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that drill bit is centered, top, bottom, left, right, inside that hole. And just go ahead and drill the pilot hole. We're gonna go all the way down through. We're gonna hit all of them. Do not push so hard that you go all the way through and pop out on the other side, because you will be pretty upset with yourself if you do that. So go ahead, drill, there's 8 holes on this. Go ahead and drill the rest of the holes, and then we will be right back. All right, now at this point, you should have all of your 1/8 inch pilot holes drilled. Now we're gonna go to the 25/64 drill bit. This is the one that has to be 25/64 to fit the riv nuts. So what we will do, we're going to line up. You can see we've got our pilot holes here, our 1/8 inch pilot holes all the way down. We are going to just go ahead and drill into there. Again, you do not want to drill all the way through. Just get a nice clean hole right there. Once you get that drill bit in there, do not waller it around, because what you'll do is you will oversize that hole. At that point, you may have riv nuts that will not fit. So just drill it in, get it out of there, and do not oversize that hole. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go through, I'm going to drill the other 7 holes with this, and then we will be right back and set some riv nuts. All right, halfway there. Hard part's over. You can stop sweating it. You've already got your holes drilled. Now we're on to some easier stuff. So this right here is the riv nut tool. What this does, this already has 1 riv nut on it. We're going to hook this ratchet up to it, and as we tighten that bolt, it's going to pull the threads of this compressed fitting. And what it's going to do, this is aluminum, so it's going to swell up inside that hole that we drilled, and it's going to just swell up in there and then fit tight. So push that in there, take your socket, your ratchet, and just start tightening it down. You will feel when you're starting to get some tension on it. Do not over torque these, because they are just aluminum and you will start to pull those threads. So this one is tight enough. I reversed my ratchet. Now I'm backing this out. So as I back this out, go ahead and run that bolt out of the riv nut. Make sure you keep the washers and the star washer on there. There's a star washer on there. So now that riv nut is set, it's tight. We're ready to go through. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other 7 riv nuts, and then we will be ready to bolt our Wickerbill on. Okay, now we have all 8 riv nuts. They're securely fastened into the stock spoiler. Notice that I have left the painter's tape on the paint the surface of the car. Just while we're working, if we happen to let something drop down, we're not gonna mar anything up. So now let's go grab our Wickerbill, and this thing's ready to bolt together. All right, at this point, we've got everything, all the rib nuts in. We're to the point where we can peel the paper from the parts. We do ask that you do not remove the paper from this until you get to this point. We also ask that before you peel the paper, at the beginning, confirm that we have sent you the correct part. Every once in a while, we may send the incorrect part. Sometimes you may order the incorrect part and things need to be sent back. So if the papers are peeled from this, we really can't take them back because there's nothing we can do with them at that point. So at this point, go ahead and peel them off. This is the smoke center section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install the 4 center bolts first. I'm not going to tighten anything up tight. I'm just going to thread them in by hand a little bit loose. This one here, we do send stainless steel parts. This is a stainless steel Allen head cap screw. The washers are black stainless steel. This one here, I just sprayed the heads of these bolts with some black Krylon paint. So you can spray the colors of the heads any color you want. They last great. They're on the back of the car. They're not getting hit with anything. So you can spray them any color you want. If you don't want to paint them, the stainless steel is good also. It's not going to rust. They're going to look good for a long time. So grab your washer and your bolt. I'm going to grab 2 of them right now. So I'm going to go with this one right here first. Now I'm just going to get the thread started. What we want to do is we want to get all of the bolts in, because if you start to tighten them down, torque 1 or 2 down, then the rest of them aren't going to start in and follow through. So I've got those 2. The Wickerbill is going to stay in place at this point. So go ahead and run the rest of these in now. Again, just put them in finger tight, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got all of the bolts in now. The bolts go through the washers, all the washers on the outside. Typically, we do the center section on that back side. I have seen people put it on the front side of the Wickerbill, but it's going to leave a gap up there. If you have that gap, you're going to get crud down in there. You're going to get leaves and whatever. It's going to make a big mess. So typically it's on the outside. At this point, all the bolts are finger tight. I'm just using a 3/16 Allen wrench. When I use this Allen wrench, I do not use it like this to tighten it. That's just putting too much leverage on these things. I'm usually just twisting it like this. This is all the torque that you need to set these things. The center section is acrylic, so if you over torque it, you possibly can crack the acrylic in time. We've sold 10,000 of these things or more. We've had just a couple of them crack. Very, very, very rarely do they crack. Just don't over torque them. So at this point, you're just going to go through, you're going to grab onto that Allen head cap screw, torque it down. So, but I do it like this, like I say. So at this point, that is as much torque as you need. You don't need to put a lot on it. So that's it. I've got the rest of them tight already. At this point, you're done. Go ahead and peel the painter's tape off. Sit back, check it out, finish your drink. Take some photos. Send us some photos. Tag us on Instagram. We love to see all of your cars on there. Our Instagram information is in there. It's PS_Designs_LLC. If you have any issues while you are doing your installation, give me a call. My cell phone. I give everybody my cell phone number: 937-935-5595. Call me anytime. You know, I'll help you figure out what's going on. Again, it's an easy, simple project. So we appreciate it, and send us those photos. We will talk to you soon. Thanks.